Hello อาจารย์พี่ลงรอง
Hello คุณ
Thanks
สิน
for
ฟ้า
joining INABIS. Today we are at the Faculty of Communication Art, which have a panel discussion on online freedom and national security issues. So, as a lecturer on journalism here, what do you see is the current issues of national security in terms of in its involvement with online and freedom?
Okay, in the most recent incidents, as reported in the news, we've seen the move by the Technology Crime Suppression Division at the Royal Thai Police. They have summoned in a few people for interrogation regarding a posting on their Facebook page, which concerned a rumor about the coup. And the fact that people, if the coup should take place, people should start hoarding food and water and so forth. And that's one incident. The other incident is when the same unit, the same police unit has issued, not really a statement, but made it public that they will start looking into line communication, the chat apps, the online chat apps communication, focusing on 4 groups of people. I think it's the people who are suspect of illegal crimes like child prostitution, drugs trafficking, illegal weapon trading, and
gambling. I think
gambling. Yes, illegal gambling. Anyway, these 2 incidents has created quite a bit of a stir, I think, among social media users, because they feel that the social media is a space where they could freely express their idea, and it's unlike traditional media because it's the users who generate the content rather than professional journalists through a very hierarchical line of editorial process.
So, don't you see that the spreading of information that there will be a coup is a kind of spreading falsified information?
I don't think I'm at liberty or in the best position to make that judgment, because I think that's really, I mean, from my own personal point of view, I think the intent is probably the key thing. And because I think you're referring to Article 14, section section 1 in the
Computer Crime Act.
Yeah, Computer Crime Act.
Section 14.
Clause 1.
Paragraph 2,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Section 14, 2.
Yeah, which refers to important to the computer system false information that could lead to public panic about something. Well, I think it really is subject to legal interpretation. So I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, so I'm not at liberty to say. But basing on the case that we talked about this morning, Kun Sermsuk Kasidit Pradit, who is a veteran journalist, is the one who posted, is one of the 4 people who posted I think several people posted the comments. But he's the one who shared the comment. My apology. He's not the one who originated the comment, but he shared the comment from some other place, and then he put his own comment afterwards in the next posting, analyzing that the unlikelihood of the coup happening, and he gave reasons why. But in any case, because he shared that original information, which could be construed as violating that section of the computer crime law. So I think it's questionable.
And Ajahn Pilonglong, you have raised during the panel about the different natures of traditional media and social network or online media. Could you tell us about the difference here?
Okay, in terms of traditional media like radio, television, and newspaper, when you talk about news, there is a clear editorial line or editorial process in which content will be filtered through this hierarchical line of responsibility before it's actually broadcast to the public. So, I mean, a certain level of care is taken before the content is actually published, right? But when we talk about social media, I think it's the other way around. But while we can talk about traditional media as filter then publish, But for social media, it's rather publish and filter. The reason I'm saying that is because anybody could be the generator of content or publisher of content in social media. So, but once you publish it to your circle of friends or your community of followers or whatever, if the information is false, that community will start correcting it, will start validating the information. So it's rather you publish first, and then the community around you will help filter the validity or the reliability, the accuracy of the information.
But what if in the Thai society we don't have that enough number of educated people that will be able to in the position to rectify the information?
It's hard to say. I think it involves a learning curve. I don't think it's education per se. It's the learning. It comes with the social learning with the new media, and the learning curve would be small. With every technology when it first diffuses, but then it will start accumulating. Like we see tons of hoaxes, internet hoaxes when we first became internet users. Then our years of use have gone by, and then we learn to become more literate and become more restrictive, even in believing, or even in social media. In the beginning, lots of people were just accepting anyone as friends, but as their years of use increases, they become restrictive in accepting friends. They would only accept people who they actually know, because you don't want your circle of friends to spread so much, because you don't want to share a lot of your information, most of it personal. Yes.
Well, how do you view the trend now that the traditional media, they will just some reporter probably just spend their time looking around the social media and pick up some of the controversial issue, controversial picture or controversial video clip, and then just without verify it or check the accuracy, start to spreading around or publish in their own media.
I think they call that journalism. It's not journalism, it's churnel. They're just churning it out. Just churn it out of nothing. It's like we're churning butter out of just a few drops of milk, that kind of thing. So I think that's something to be really, really watchful for. I mean, in terms of the readers and the users of social media and whatnot. And that's why we have to be more literate, in about the new technology, as well as the social context surrounding it. Like in Thailand, this is a context of a deep and a very deep political and ideological divide. So people will, in that kind of context, people will start using anything, not only medium of communication, to get at each other. So you see a lot of propaganda, a lot of even hate speeches, flowing around. So and a lot of hoaxes, a lot of lies, and a lot of things. So you have to learn to differentiate between facts and lies and propaganda and whatnot.
Do you think that the traditional media or the more established media have been educating the public about how to better use the social media?
No. I don't think it's their job even. I mean, I don't blame them if they don't do it, because it's not really their job. I mean, their job is not to educate. Their job is to give information, and a lot of time it's the information that they see fit, and they don't. I don't think they care enough about the society to make the society become educated on this issue. And actually, if we want the society to become more literate, I think the educational system it should be the one.
It's you.
No, not me. I'm teaching at the university level. I think it's too late. You have to start really young, because most courses on media literacy, successful ones in the overseas, would start when kids are like in the elementary school.
And we don't have it.
No.
None.
Yeah, I just went to another panel on media literacy yesterday, and the professor who's been pushing it, who's been working on media literacy, I'm not working on media literacy, but I've been following it, said she's been working in this area for 10 years. She's developed several courseware to be ready to be used in schools, but the Ministry of Education is not responsive.
Wow.
So because it means they have to overhaul the whole system to incorporate the new, because one subject throughout means a change of the whole system. They don't want change, I guess.
So with back to the incident that you just mentioned earlier, that the police has point out for people. I think that they say that two of them have already been interrogated, including Kun Sermsuk of Thai PBS. Do you think that this incident has now created some kind of chilling effect or create a fear atmosphere among the social network user in Thailand?
I'm not really sure about chilling effect or climate of fear, but it is amounting to that in the end if this continues. But because a lot of people would not stop and give in, to that kind of movement from the police. So like people like the Thai Netizen, which is an advocacy group for online freedom, have gone all over the places in the media to, well, like you said, educate the public about online freedom and the limit that the police could go so far as, and so I think it's this balance that wouldn't, if it's only the police who move, then yes, the chilling effect and the climate of fear will be the end result. But if the other side would not give in and give that counterattack, counter move, then the society will see both sides, and then they could decide. And the fear that could be the result of the move by the police would be reconciled somewhat.
At the panel, we have many people have talked about the Computer Crime Act. As a journalism lecturer, do you see trouble with that law?
Yes, I do, especially on the content regulation in Section 14 and the intermediary liability in Section 15, as well as in, I think, Section 20, which talks about the authority of the officials, because they have sweeping authority. They could decrypt, they could censor, they could summoning people in for interrogation. It's just the beginning of it all, because they could really do a lot of things with what you have in your computer. So when you talk about rights and freedom, like freedom of expression to begin with, or right to privacy, because a lot of things that you store in your hard drive could be your personal life or something. Yeah.
So today, I and the Biz have learned a lot from Ajahn Pirungrong, and we also enjoy about the panel discussion earlier very much. This is not the first time that Ajahn Pirungrong is with our program, and I believe that she will be with us again in the very near future. ขอบคุณอาจารย์ Pirungrong มากนะครับ
ขอบคุณค่ะ